Hey third graders, let's get started with today's lesson. We're going to be doing lessons 1.1 and 1.4 together. Our learning target is I can take apart and build numbers using place value. Remember, this goes along with what we did yesterday.
All right, so third graders, we are going to start with our first number, 148. We're going to be breaking that number apart into our three place values. Our first place value, starting with our largest place value, is 100. So looking at how there is only 1 in the 100's place value. Next, we have our tens place value, which is 4 or 40. So we have 40 in our tens place value. Our last place value is our ones. We have 8 ones. When we add them all together, it is 148.
All right, so we ask ourselves what digit is in the hundreds place, and remember we got a 1. What digit is in the tens place? A 4, and that's 40. And then what digit is in the ones place? That's an 8. And its value is also 8. So third graders, if you are struggling with this and you would like to use these secret code cards or place value cards, you can see how you could slide them together to equal 148. Go ahead and ask your teacher if you think those would be helpful for you.
All right, friends, our next one is a little game. We're wanting to know what digit is in the hundreds place. So let's start with our first number. Which digit is in the hundreds place? What do you think? So take a moment to think. The digit in the hundreds place is 2. So we have 200.
Miss Holkern, what's the value of a 2 in the hundreds place?
Good question, Miss Anderson. The value is 200.
So if I'm asked the digit, what would my answer be?
2. Now, friends, I'm going to have you do the next two problems. So 37.
Yep, 37.
And 493. Ask yourself, what digit is in the hundreds place? Remember, which digit? And then from there, go to the tens and the ones. Take a moment.
And then when you are done, you can go ahead and resume the video, but make sure you do this part on your own. All right, third graders, your paper should look something like this. It could look a couple different ways, so pay attention as we go. Starting over here, we have 2 hundreds, 6 tens, and 4 ones. Another way to write it would be for 37, it says tens, there are 3, and then ones, there are 7. And then over here on the right, you'll see we have 4 hundreds, 9 tens, and 3 ones. And I want to make sure that you notice it says 4 hundreds, not 400, but 4 hundreds, because there's a 4 in the hundreds place.
So third graders, yesterday we worked a little bit using our place value
drawings.
And so today we're going to review that. What I want you to do is on your piece of paper, I want you to draw out what would 157 look like using our place value drawings.
So third graders, as you look at your drawing, it should look something like this. Remember, you might not have dot paper in front of you, but at least should look similar. So we have a square here because a square equals 100 because it's 10 by 10. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 10. I know that 5 groups of 10 is 50. And then adding on to that, so right now I'm at 150. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones. So let's keep moving in the same direction. 157. Imagine that each dot represents a penny. If each dot was a penny, then what would a 10 stick represent? Well, a 10 stick would represent 10 cents. But what does a 100 box represent then? Is there 100 cents? Is there a better way to say 100 cents? What do you think, Miss Hultgren?
I don't know, Miss Anderson. I'm trying to think of the largest place value that we could say for 100 pennies.
Let's take a look. Oh, $1. $1 has 100 pennies. So, if we're looking at this, what amount does the whole drawing represent? Well, I know right away that this is $1 because they just told us that. So I'm going to write that, and then I'm just going to write a plus here because it's kind of like expanded form. So $1 plus, well, each stick is 10 cents. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 cents. And then plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cents. So to me that looks like $1.57. There we go. That's some real world application for you.
Now friends, we do have an exit ticket for you. The first problem that we have, it says, how are 7 plus 4 and 70 plus 4 different? Number 2, in a money drawing, explain why 1,000 bar represents then dollars.
$10, that's what
$10. Sorry, friends. Here, let's fix that. I'm glad that we caught that, so it makes sense. So I'm going to reread number 2. In a money drawing, explain why 1,000 bar represents $10. Number 3, compare adding 7 plus 4 to adding 8 plus 4. How are they the same? How are they different? Friends, look for your exit ticket on Schoology.
All right, we are moving on to the second part of our lesson, lesson 1.4. So our learning targets are I can identify numbers from scrambled place value names. Sounds like a challenge, but I think you guys are ready. And I can solve place value word problems. So let's see, it says 7 tens plus 1,000 plus 2 hundreds plus 8 ones. Well, I think what they're trying to do is confuse us into thinking that this is 7,128. And if I wasn't reading carefully, that might be the answer I write down.
Miss Anderson, how would I make sure that I don't make a silly mistake like that?
Well, Ms. Holgren, I think that it would be best to just erase that and then start rewriting them in the right order. So I think I would write out 1,000 because I know that's the biggest. Then let's see, hundreds come after that. So 200 plus 7 tens, which is 70, and then plus 8 ones. Otherwise, I could have started with the 8 ones and moved the other direction. And my answer is going to be 1,278.
All right, friends, we are going to be working with addition strategies. So an example, 80 plus 50 equals what? One way to do this is to count using our tens strategy. You can do this with a drawing. So you can start with 80 because that is our first number that we are adding. We already have that, and we are going to be adding 50 more to it. So we're going to add 5 10 sticks. So we have 80 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 sticks, or 50. So that would be a total of 130. So use your place value. Think 8 tens plus 5 tens. Say 8 tens and then count on 5 more tens. So 8 tens, 9 tens, 10 tens, 11 tens, 12 tens, 13 tens. The answer is then 13 tens or 130. Another way you can do this is solving it using just your mental self. Saying the first number to yourself, so 80, and then counting on by tens until you have counted 5 tens. So 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, and 130. The answer is then 130. And Ms. Anderson, is it okay if I use my fingers to keep track of how many 10 sticks I'm adding if I'm solving mentally?
I think that would be really helpful. Just like the drawing, you're keeping track of how many tens you add. I think that makes a lot of sense to use your fingers to keep track. Let's keep going in that same direction. So what if we were trying to make 100? So I still have 80 plus 50, but this time I'm going to try to think, how could I make 100 when I already have 80? I know that 8 plus 2 equals 10, so that means that 80 plus 20 equals 100. So I'm going to take 20 from the 50, and then I'm going to get 100, but I still have that 30. I can't forget about it. So 100 plus 30 would then equal 130. I could also use place value and just say 8 tens plus 5 tens. Well, 8 plus 2 is 10 tens. 10 tens is 100 plus 3 tens, or 30. Third graders, if this is a hard concept for you, please go back and drag the video back so you can watch it one more time.
My friends, we're going to keep going. Now we are going to be counting by by hundreds. So, for example, we have 800 plus 500 equals what? We're doing the same thing, except now we're going to be using hundreds to find the answer. So we start with 800, which is our first number we are adding, and then we're going to be adding 100s. Again, you can use your fingers as placeholders so that you don't lose track. You can also use your drawings and making sure you're using your base values.
All right, now we have 2 word problems. We did these with words just because sometimes they try to challenge us a little more by that, so we need to make sure we know our math vocabulary. It says, what is the smallest number you can make using these digits? Okay, so I know that this is my question. What's the smallest number? So they're looking for a number. Let's see. Well, right away I could just say 12 because I know I can only use a tens place value and a ones place value. I only have 2 digits because 0 is a digit, so I can't throw that in there anywhere. But I could also do another one with tens and ones. I could do 21. Now I need to decide which one is smaller. Well, I know that 12 is smaller than 21, so I'm just going to circle that. I wonder if next time I could just guess and just say 12 and just be done with it. Do you think that would be a good idea, Miss Hulkren?
You know, guessing is always a great way to try to get to know the problem, but I would never just have that be your final answer. We always want to make sure we have the best answer possible by going through all of the possible answers and then selecting the best one.
Okay, so then let me try this one, and I'm just probably not going to guess. I'm going to try out the different answers again. So what's the, it's biggest this time. Good thing I'm circling the important words. What's the biggest number you can make using these digits? Well, we could just say 839, but I know that in the last one, I wanted the smallest digit of the smallest value in my tens because I was looking for smallest. So this time, since it's biggest, I probably want the biggest value in the highest place value seat. So I think I should move my 9 to the hundreds. So does it matter if I put the 3 next or the 8 next?
Well, Miss Anderson, what number is larger? Is 3 or 8 bigger?
I know that 8 is bigger, so I'm going to do that next, and then I'm going to do my 3. Let me just double check my work to see if I got it right. So I could have done 398. No, anything with a 3 is definitely not going to be the biggest for the hundreds. But what if I did 938? Is 930 bigger than 980?
No.
I don't think so. So I know that this must be my best answer because I checked my work. All right, third graders, that's the end of our video today. If there's anything that you didn't understand, make sure you go back. Have a great rest of your day.